want you on my mind, don't want to feel you. Don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel you. Don't want you on my mind, on my mind, on my mind, 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 mind. You again, why'd you call? I don't need to hear you crying out my name. Unlike before, when you and I lay eye to eye, now it's time for you to taste the bitter end. So I ask myself, do I let you go? Do I keep you in the frame of my mind? Now I'm growing wise to your sugar-coated lies. Nothing sweet about my misery. I finally found what went wrong. I finally found the wrong in you. I finally found what went wrong. I finally found the wrong in you. Don't want to feel you. Don't want you on my mind. Don't want to feel you. Don't want you on my mind. Don't want to feel you. Don't want you on my mind. On my mind. On my mind. 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 Mind.
Predator.
You tuned in? Oh, and then it comes back. Oh, here we go. You're tuned into the lounge on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. Shout out to Frosty Phoenix, the producer on that music and stuff. No, that's a vibe right there. One of my songs that I truly enjoy. Listen, in case you may have missed our question of the day, feel free to chime in before we get into our Real Talk Roundtable, which is happening at 9 p.m. That question of the day is, Alabama lawmakers have voted to ban most abortions in the state, the only exception being if the woman is at quote-unquote serious risk. And so we want to know, what are your thoughts? Because that's going down in Alabama, and then, nationwide, there's this kind of rollback against women's reproductive rights. And here in PA just yesterday, the PA House passed a bill that would essentially make an abortion a criminal act if at the time that a woman is pregnant, she finds out that her child has been diagnosed with Down syndrome, and then as a result of that diagnosis would like to have an abortion. She would be prevented from doing so because it would be a criminal act. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on all of this? Feel free to chime in, 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900. But currently, right now, because it is Women Crush Wednesday in the lounge, I have the pleasure of having Dr. Brandy Baldwin on to, have a little chat about what she's been up to, but also about this word that she posted on her Instagram. So Dr. Baldwin is CEO of Millennial Ventures Holdings, and she has some, unconventional insights on engaging the millennial workforce, leadership, and diversity, but she also just keeps it 100. So, hey, Dr. Brandy.
Hey.
All right, so about this word that you delivered. Set the stage for us. Tell us a little bit about it.
I delivered the word, and I didn't even require tithes and offerings either. So, that's a free one. Well, I was having a conversation recently just about people who seem to align themselves with people who they perceive to be successful. And my friends and I were like, some people are just opportunists. They think that just by getting close to you or close to other people, they're going to jump off from what you're doing. And rather than trying to build real relationships or putting in actual work and doing the work themselves, they kind of skip from, successful person to successful person. Oh, this person's their new friend. And they accumulate all of these people that I guess they perceive, to be successful for whatever it is that they're trying to do. And so I just was cautioning people and just saying, hey, protect your brand, use your discernment, and make sure that, anyone who's around you who seems so eager to be a part of what you're doing, you got to give them a little test to make sure that they're committed. Because I've personally had experiences where people have gotten close to me. They want to volunteer their time time, or they want to help out so much, and all of a sudden they looking for a check. I'm like, I thought you said you just wanted to volunteer.
Thought you were down for the cause. What happened?
Or they'll volunteer to just steal some proprietary information, or they're so enamored. How is she doing this? So they want to get an inner look at what you're doing. And so I've had to have some tough conversations. I've had to ghost on some people. I've had to fuss some people out, as my auntie would say. And it's just a part of being a business in business, and just a leader, whether you're working for yourself or in an organization.
Yeah, and speaking of leadership, I know that's one of the topics that you have some unconventional insights on. So when you say unconventional insights, specifically as it relates to leadership, what do you mean by that, and what are some of those unconventional insights?
So we've been trained and taught that like leaders are people who've worked for 20 years at something, 15, 20 years. We've been taught that leadership is a title. Oh my God, they're like the VP of this or the CEO of that, And so a lot of the framework for how I view leadership is, number one, leadership is about your character. It's not about your title. You have to be a leader first, and then you get promoted to the next level. When people see your leadership skills, then they recognize that, and they're willing to find opportunities, or opportunities find you. When you think about the millennial generation, of course, everyone talks about Mark Zuckerberg, but there are so many others, people of color, that we didn't work for 20 years or 25 or 30 years, but we're doing a lot when it comes to innovation. We're innovating very young, and so book smarts is one thing, but there's a raw talent, I think, that leaders have, and the millennial generation is doing a lot to take things to the next level. And we're unapologetic about being 25 and being bosses, or being 35, I'm 35, and being a boss. Like, that's just what we do. And I think that if we focus on execution rather than other aspects of leadership like titles, we can really get to the point of making some real progress, especially in our community.
Yeah. Why was it important for you? Because you, again, have Millennial Ventures Holding. Why was it important to even put that into the name, like to put millennials at the forefront of all of the work that you're doing?
I've never been asked that question, not once. So that's a great question, and I got so much pushback.
I'm gonna say, I'll be trying.
Look at you with your journalism. You know what I'm saying? You seasoned. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I was so tired of hearing all of the stereotypes about millennials. Millennials are lazy. Millennials are entitled. Millennials are, somebody said they're delusionally ambitious. They want to just climb the ladder and get success too early without putting in the work. And I said, well, my friends and my network and people that I'm mentoring, they putting in a lot of work, a lot of hours. They have
late nights, early mornings.
Come on, like that was my experience. So I said, how about let's call it Millennial Ventures. And so when you hire us, when you cut that check, you're going to write to Millennial every single time to remind yourself that we're doing great work. And it's been, I got a lot of pushback, and God, don't niche yourself, and then, why would you put millennial on that? And I said, I'm going to do it because I think that it's authentic to the point that I'm trying to prove. And I think it's been amazing, and it's been amazing branding. Actually, it's worked in our favor.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when folks will say, no, you don't do, that's too niche. But then they say you need to find your niche, and it's like, okay, all right, it's one or the other. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think, and especially in terms of leadership, authenticity is so important in that process, and you're clearly having applied that in your own your own walk. You're walking that talk.
Yeah, for sure. Like authenticity is definitely important. I think that now we talk a lot about being real and being authentic, but people are faking authenticity too. Like, it's so backwards to me that people are like trying to come across authentic, when I'm like, being authentic really is like being you. I am someone who I have a lot of formal education. I did the whole PhD thing. I can use PhD words. I can use SAT words, but I'm not. That's not who I am. And so I don't have to flex, and do that, because I think that's what people expect of me. So really being authentic is like really being you. And when you're able to do that, people will connect with you, and it gives them permission to be able to be themselves as well.
It's so funny because I remember meeting you randomly, I think, at Temple University.
Yes.
I want to say in a hallway. I remember talking to you in a hallway. I don't know if that's where we met.
Yes.
But I was considering, I think at that time, getting my master's, and I think you were getting your master's at that time, and so it's just, I don't even know how many years ago that was.
That got to be at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, and just to even, chance meeting, never knew where that was going to go from there, but then to see your growth and
I
your
know, you
evolution
too.
from there. I'm like, I've just been like, yes. Do that, Dr. Brandy.
Let me tell you, I've been saying the same about you. When I first met you, I'm not sure, I think you have 2 children.
2 daughters.
Okay, and I know you at least had 1 at the time.
Yep.
And you were like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And I remember that initial conversation, like not once did you ever say, but my kids with this, and but my kid, like you were just like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm working on this, I'm working on any advice. And I was like, yo, that's how I'm similar. And some people really like, well, take it slow. They give you advice based on what they think you can accomplish.
Yeah.
And I think we originally, initially just had that connection because I'm like, game recognized game.
Yeah.
I started my PhD program 8 months pregnant. I gave birth to my daughter New Year's Eve. I was back in class 3 weeks later, January 13th. Like, that's just how I rock.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. If you're a leader, if you want to do things a certain way, do that and have people around you that will not second guess your talent based on what they think they can and cannot do. And so kudos to you for
See, y'all didn't even know y'all was about to get all of this word that you just got. You thought it was only going to be about opportunists, and then we just opened it up. We just opened it up.
You.
Anywho, there's so much more where you all can get, you can get more of that by following Dr. Brandy. So let them know where they can connect with you, and also about the services that you have available.
For sure. So, for your listeners, I think the number one thing that I'm focused on right now is launching my Career Freedom Club. If you go to careerfreedomclub.com, I was spending over 100 hours a year of pro bono just speaking on the phone with people about their careers and all their challenges. I've taken all of the advice that I've given and I put it in one place because of my availability. I can't do one-on-one, but it's my group mentorship program. So anybody who's like, yo, I need to figure out at any level, I don't care if you're a baby boomer or a millennial, and you want to figure out how to be successful in your business or career, it's about leadership mentoring, careerfreedomclub.com. If you want to know more about Dr. Brandy, you can go to my website, drbrandy.com. That's DOCTORBRANDI.com. And I'm on the gram at the Dr. Brandy.
All right, there we have it. And then right on time for a break. Look at us getting it done.
On time.
All right, loves. So when we come back after this break, we are kicking off a Real Talk Roundtable. You do not want to miss that. I'm looking forward to the guests that we are going to have on air. If you missed the announcement of who they will be, I'm going to run that back for you really quickly. Nina Ahmad, she's a board member of National Organization for Women. Lakeisha Anthony, she's the founder and CEO of Voice, which stands for Victory Over Inconceivable Cowardly Experiences. And Voice is a network whose mission is to dismantle the stigma and silence that surrounds sexual violence survivors. And so then we also have Alicia Gonzalez. She's a queer Latinx licensed social worker who serves as the executive director of the Women's Medical Fund, which is an organization that works to ensure and expand abortion access through direct service and community organizing. And then last but not least, we have Alyssa W. She is a millennial mother of 2 sons, one of whom was diagnosed with Down syndrome and recently turned 3 years old. So we have a really diverse group of women who are coming together to have a real conversation about what's been happening nationwide concerning our voice, our bodies, and our reproductive organs. So stay tuned for that. You're in the lounge on WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. We'll be right back after these messages.
Get your money straight.
Get my money right.
With Solomon Jones and Akbar Hassan.
Fridays on